Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is BestInSlot, and today we are going to continue this trend of playing horror games that are maybe a little less conventional in a horror sense, less jump scares and more interesting new ideas on how to do horror gaming. This book is a dungeon. This is a choose your own adventure, the kind we obviously, a lot of us grew up with as kids. I loved choose your own adventure books as a kid. I used to have heady plans one day of making a Skyrim choose your own adventure video series on YouTube. It actually was going to be really cool, but I'm far too lazy. But this book is a dungeon. This dungeon is a book. Very clever. By Nathan Manim. That name there. This is a horror choose your own adventure, basically, but adapted with pictures and stuff like that as well. And we're just going to go for it. We're going to read it, and we're going to try not to die, basically. Yeah. Tick, 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 tick. You remember a time when you used to steal... I'm going to have to talk a lot in this video. So if you hate the sound of my voice and you're feeling bad commenting on it right now, just feel free to close the video, because it's not about to change in the next 4 seconds. I'm going to do stupid voices and various things throughout this video, so let's just put that to bed right now. You remember a time when you used to steal aching glances at the clock, praying... I will learn to speak English. Praying for the strike of the merciful hour that had finally set you free. Boop! Temporarily released from the shackles of the tiresome workday, you'd eagerly rush home, shed your work clothes like a burdensome second skin, and flit off into the night to join friends for merriment and mischief. Who doesn't? Those days are gone. The shift came on slowly at first. Sharp pains, dizziness, restlessness, insomnia. I think I need a drink. Bear with me a sec, folks. God, water's the best. Who doesn't love water? But as even more unsettling changes tightened their grip within you, it became clear something was very wrong. Poked, prodded, examined, analysed, a battery of tests, a gauntlet of medical pummeling and anxious uncertainty, and then the waiting. When the call finally came, you already knew the answer before the words rolled off the lips, rasping away on the other end of the line. Lost in an echo chamber, your mind parsed only snippets of the doctor's news, the ones that stung the most. It's terminal. A year left to live, maybe 2 at best. I'm so sorry. They're always bloody sorry. And then you're alone. Now time is your enemy, siphoning away the last of you with every passing moment, draining the light and the colour from your world, leaving an emptying shell of aching hopelessness and dark anticipation in its wake. The clacking of keyboards, ringing of phones, and casual banter of clueless co-workers is a steady ache. It rakes at the frayed corners, pulls at the tattered edges of your weary mind. But the appointed hour has arrived. It dampens the din, if only for a short while. Tomorrow is another day, for them at least. For you? Possibly. You linger for just a moment longer, letting the eager parade filter through the exit. The last to leave, you close up, lock the door, and pull your overcoat tight around you. A spitting mist turns to a downpour well before you reach the dry sanctuary of the putrid subway entrance. The stairs are a descent into unpleasant smells and hustled near misses as bustling crowds crush together to get to and from their mundane 9-to-5s. For a moment you miss that simplicity of routine, the promise of continuance. Standing at the edge of the platform, you look down at the electrified tracks. Wind picks up in the tunnel, signalling the rapidly approaching train. Your mind wanders. You imagine what it would be like to be caught on the tracks right now as the train comes barreling through at 60 miles per hour. Death is a beacon, drawing you ever closer. It swirls and dances on the sparking steel girders below. It teases and taunts, only inches away. It's not a vampire, BestInSlot. Come to me, whispers the siren call. It's not yet time. You take a few steps back from the yellow line. 20 minutes feels like an eternity in the packed subway car. Damp, sweaty, exhaustion and regret mixed with promise and delusion. A wagon full of cattle, oblivious, tuned out, numb. I'm totally going to sneeze. No! Stop by stop, the opening and closing of the door thins the herd. It's a welcome culling, a shifting of space, a loosening of knots. Soon you're the last and you can breathe easy again, but you still scan the car with a quick glance out of habit one last time to make sure you're truly alone. Except you're not quite alone. There's a small leather satchel sitting on an empty seat in the far corner of the car. You glance around again, not trusting your weary eyes. There's still not a living soul save your own. The handrail is sticky with grime from the clutch of 1,000 dirty fingers. Filthy. It's really well written, this. You wince at its touch, but it offers stability as you work your way to the other end of the car towards the orphan satchel. Where did its owner go? The bag is weathered and worn. Some tired soul will no doubt be missing its contents, you gather. A high-pitched whine pierces the air as the car rocks and rattles. The lights flicker. 32nd Street. It's your stop. Time to go. Do you take the bag? Do you leave it there? I think we take the bag. You instinctively reach out and swipe the bag, figuring it's better off in your hands than left to wander the dark tunnels inside a giant metal beast alone. Thick, stale underground air turns cool and damp as you emerge from the city's high-speed intestines and hit the noisy streets above. 340 steps later, you're at the door of your second-story apartment, fumbling the keys, muttering under your breath. The lock finally gives way. Peeling off your soaked coat, you drop everything on the table, kick off your shoes, and check your answering machine. You have no new messages. No surprises there. Yeah, telling me, buddy. Ignoring the pile of unwashed dishes and the empty fridge, you sidle back to the table and remember... ... the bag. Inside the bag, you find an old book. The book is aged and weathered. Its cover is adorned with an ominous skeletal being that looks half human, half serpent. And the title is written in a language you don't have the tongue to decipher. Open the book. Unlocking the old book, you open the cover and... Unlocking the book. You open the cover and flip through the dusty pages. The book appears to be blank. How odd. Flip to the first page. Personally, the frail pages seem brittle to the touch, as if they're in danger of crumbling into nothingness, yet your fingers resonate with an unknown energy. You flip to a random page and find nothing. Are your eyes playing tricks on you, or did you see the faint glimmer of words fading from view just now? Flip to another random page. Flipping through the pages, a faint flicker of ink catches your eye. You flip back several pages to try to find it. After much searching, you uncover a page that sports a faint drawing of a keyhole sketched in pencil. You instinctively reach out a finger and trace it over the drawing. A sudden sharp pain, a paper cut, spurs you to pull your hand away quickly. Looking down, you notice the keyhole sketch has changed into a fanged serpent. Spots of your blood dot the page. The room swims. That's nice for the rooms. I'm glad that they're teaching kids to swim these days. You feel faint and disorientated. Your vision goes blank as you hit the floor. A sharp impact slams your temples, jolting your sinuses. Oh god, it sends raw white heat burning through your consciousness. Then empty space. You fall through the black void, erasing the past. Spooky. Erasing the future. Spookier. Only the present. I want a present. What is happening? It's in italics, so it needs an accent. Where am I? No, we're not doing that. Where am I? Who am I? I wouldn't be good at dramatic readings, would I? I think we can accept that. What is this darkness eating away inside me? And then... a light. I entertain myself. Do I have to... Oh, you have to touch it. You awaken in a small chamber illuminated by the light of a single flickering torch resting in a sconce at the far wall. The sharp throb pulsing behind your eyes fades quickly, but an unpleasant chill is creeping in. You notice words scattered into the stone floor. At this distance, the torchlight is too dim to make out what they say. You grab the torch from the wall sconce and take comfort in the subtle warmth. It breathes across your face. You can now get a better look at your surroundings. Holding the torch closer to the floor, you can clearly see the inscription carved there. It reads, Chapter 1. Why the Walls Bleed. Spooksville. A heavy wooden door to the south appears to be the only way in or out of this pit. Right, we have a map. Like, this is a proper, like, one of those classic RPGs to an extent as well. Cool. And that's where we are. The door creaks and shudders open as you strain against its weight. You find yourself in a larger stone room that's cavernous and empty. The echoing sound of water droplets come from a passage to the west. You catch a whiff of something familiar, something out of place. Is that? You also notice another passageway to the east, as well as the door you just came through. So what's the smell? Citrus? Why would it be citrus? I think we go west. Let's go west. The narrow corridor opens into a dead-end room that reeks of over-ripened fruit. You're blasted with the sweet, pungent odour which nearly overpowers you. Looking around, you notice a viscous, reddish substance draining out of several large, round holes in the walls. This mysterious fluid drips down in a slow, syrupy cascade, collecting in stone basins carved along the base of the wall. We're going to touch the bloody stuff, aren't we? The sweet odour is emanating from this odd liquid. You decide to leave it alone for now. I want to lick it! I would lick it! I would definitely do that. Right, east. Pushing further into the unknown depths, your eyes play tricks in the torchlight. What lurks in the darkness ahead, skittering away just beyond the glow of your torch. As you round the corner, you notice a small alcove in the passageway here. The corridor continues to the east. The northern passage leads around the corner back to the west. I think we checked the alcove. There's a large crack in the wall of the alcove. It's not big enough for you to squeeze through. Who knows what could be in there? Reach into the hole or go back. Now, I think we should do this as though we were doing it. As if I was a real human being. Probably wouldn't lick the liquid. Liquid? Huh. A real human being in a dungeon trying to survive. You would not reach into the hole. You just wouldn't. You'd head east. And then north. A pile of bones and skulls lay scattered across a large stone slab in the centre of this chamber. Along the far wall, a series of sharp hooks dangle from the ceiling by chains. It's clear that much suffering befell the poor souls who met their fate in this place. Smears of their dried blood, now darkened with time and decay, paint a macabre scene. Macabre. A passageway extends to the west. The southern door opens into a long hallway. Let's have a look at the bones. The bones have been picked clean and show markings of being gnawed on. I don't want to be here. You notice 2 human skulls amidst the remains. Searching through the remains, you disturb one of the human skulls, which rolls off the stone floor, or stone slab, and clatters to the floor. Beneath it, you find a scrap of paper. The aged parchment is faded and covered in drops of long-dried blood. It reads, "This awful place. What have I done? What have I become? Please forgive me." Let's go look at these hooks. You imagine what it might feel like being strung up with one of these rusty things hooked into your guts, waiting to be eaten alive. Then you banish the thought from your mind. Well, it wouldn't be an easy one to get rid of. Right, west. No. Can I... back. Southern door. West. Alcove. Reach in. Had to be done. You reach into the hole and immediately recoil as a teeming mass of stinging and biting insects swarms up your arm. It takes a minute to fling them off. That was a bad idea what I just did right there. North. Right, let's go west. The floor has collapsed in the hallway ahead, which is flooded with stagnant, murky water. On the opposite side lies an ornate door. You peer into its depths and wonder what might lie in waiting just beneath the shimmering surface. Chunks of rubble are crumbling off the side of the wall by the edge of the walkway. Let's have a look at the rubble. You pick up a fist-sized chunk of rubble and hurl it into the water. It splashes, then sinks. The water's surface comes splashing to life as something makes quick work of the rubble. You quickly skirt around the edges of the watery corridor while the unknown beast is distracted. I think I may have died there if I'd just gone for it. Beyond the ornate door, you enter a nicer room. The stone is more chiselled and refined. Red tapestries hang on the walls, and the decor is a comforting upgrade from the dank, crumbling corridors you just crawled out of. 4 tall display cases are positioned around the fancy chamber. You also see a stairway leading to a door in the north, a smaller closet door to the east, a passage to the south, which is where we came from. Let's have a look at the display cases. At a cursory glance, the towering display cases appear to be filled with a greenish fluid. There's also something else inside them too. Display 1. Preserved within the green fluid is a desiccated corpse that looks like it might have once been human. It's missing both arms. The body's one remaining leg is tethered by a chain latched to the base of the display. The mouth has been crudely sewn shut, and a cluster of worm-like creatures are floating out from gaps in the stitching. That's nice, isn't it? Display 2. You find a wolf-like creature hanging upside down in the green fluid. Its poorly stitched stomach cavity has burst open inside the display, with ropes of long, stringy worms floating out from it alongside its entrails. Looking more closely at the gruesome display, you notice the creature's eye twitch and blink. This is not a nice place. 2 severed human torsos have been stitched. I can't say the word stitched. Stitched. My mouth is too dry for the word stitched. Stitched. I actually can't do it. Together in a gory mirror image at the waist. Ropey clusters of worms are spilling out from the water. Stitched. Better. Yeah. Display 4. This one is empty. That's worrying because then I could be in that one. I don't want to be in that. Right. Let's go check out the closet door. The door is locked. Thank God for that. Right, stairway. Bam. You walk up the small stairs, open the door and enter a sitting chamber. The clanking of chains draws you further into the room. Bound to a throne resting at the far wall of the chamber, you find a creature with the body of a man and the head of a bird. It looks off into the distance, unblinking. There's also a large door to the west and the door you entered into the south. I think we're going to go look at the creature. As you step closer, the creature speaks with a slow, raspy cadence.
I feel a presence. What is it? What is it? Oh, what could it want with me? Little me shackled away in these filthy eye metal.
I can't. How do I do raspy?
Filthy metal.
I can't do raspy and it actually come out as words.
Filthy metal irons. Filthy little irons to hold my flesh and bone. It is a strange thing indeed. So very strange and fluffy. It is. It reeks of overworld, doesn't it? Little me wonders why it stands there, poised with some unknown purpose. The thump, thump, thump of its heart beats a hair faster now, doesn't it? Like the tap, tap, tap of ticking time. What manner of fluid flows beneath its skin?
My throat is going to burn like a bitch after this.
Wonders little me. Its breath is tinged with wicked curiosity. What could it want with little me, then? Does it seek to put the sharpness to my flesh and spill my essence to the floor? Does it take my shiny? Does it feed me this delicious sweet nectar I crave? I miss it so dearly. Or perhaps it has something else in mind for little me. I think we should in nectar. Treacherous! It teases me, little me, with its lies. Poor little me with no sweet nectar to drink. It returns when it has something sweet for me.
The bird creature continues to mutter to itself, investigating the... Okay, so I think we need to get a jar or something and then head back to that initial room to feed the bird creature. The heavy door is decorated with scratch marks and dried bloodstains. It's locked. I could free it. You reach out to test the strength of its chains, and the creature gets anxious.
It wishes to set me free. Oh, yes, that is very good.
Right, we're going back for now. But where else could I go? I can't go west. I don't want to stab it. Should I take it shiny? I'm going to take the shiny.
It does! It comes from my shiny!
You took the necklace free from the bird creature's necks. Now it searches for my sweetness, the creature mutters. Okay, so we're going to head back. All the way south. West. 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 Substance. Okay. So we've got... Okay. So we've got the necklace, right? Can I do anything... with the necklace is my next question. Oh, feeling compelled to sift through someone else's remains, you poke around the bone heap and find an old rusty knife. Anything I can do with any of these now that I've got the necklace? You unlock the door. Apparently, I have a key. You unlock the door and creep into the large closet, which appears to be home to many strange vials and instruments of some dark alchemy. You rummage around the detritus and find a small wooden bowl. I actually only just spotted my inventory in the bottom. So now we need to head back the way we came and try to get the sweetness, I guess. Is it a good idea? God knows if it's a good idea. You have a bowl to collect the red liquid with. Cool. Moving closer to the pungent ooze cascade, you carefully position the ornate wooden bowl beneath one of the streams and manage to collect a generous amount of the sticky red goo. An unsettling cackle echoes through the dungeon far from the east. The sticky, sweet-smelling substance you gathered rolls around in the bowl. What is this stuff? Your stomach growls. It feels like ages since. I don't think we're gonna eat it. It seems like a bad idea to me. Then again, maybe feeding creepy bird creature is also a bad idea. I think we're not going to unlock it before we feed it, just in case. Okay, does it feed me? It does.
I smell that it has brought me something nice. Will it give a taste of the sweetness to little...
That's a really creepy sentence.
Yes, the sweetness.
You bring the bowl of sticky red fluid to its beak. The creature takes its sip. A moment of pure ecstasy washes over its face. Then it writhes and convulses with a sickening gurgle as it strains against the chains. After a moment of this, the convulsions subside.
It gives little me another sweet taste, please.
The creature rasps breathlessly.
Ah, yes.
Again, the creature hungrily swallows another gulp with newfound desperation. This is followed by another bout of writhing, more violent than before. The creature looks pale and sickly now. More. It gives me a little more. No. But what else can I do? I don't think. Maybe. Got a plan. If we go back to the alcove now that I've got the. I was gonna get some more. No, let's take a sip. Let's screw it. You put the bowl... Wait, no, I've just seen what this stuff does. Why would I do that? You put the bowl to your lips and take a sip of the unknown liquid. It tastes like syrupy sweet heaven, but after a few seconds, the tingle of titillated taste buds on your tongue starts to turn molten fire. Your lips, mouths, throat and stomach feel as if you've been fed a steady diet of nails and turpentine. You spend the next few minutes writhing on the ground, choking in pain and gasping for air. Then it soon fades and you can function again. You immediately crave more of this delicious but agony-inducing mystery substance. I don't think that's a good idea. I think we're going to go feed the bird. Or kill it. What would I do? I think we'd probably keep feeding it, to be honest. I don't really... I must have to commit to something, you know? Right, there we go. So, we've done this before. You pour the final draughts down its beak. The bird creature writhes in agony one last time. It twitches, jerks its head to the side, and stops moving. After a moment of stillness, the creature's skin pulsates and begins to liquefy. You look closer at the bleached bones of the bird creature's skeletal remains and notice a strange object in the pile. It's another key, larger than the first. You grab it. The bird creature's corpse rests on the throne, peacefully. Investigate the large door to the west. You place the key in the lock. It fits! You lock the door and the key immediately crumbles away to dust in your hands. You step through the doorway. My leg is killing me. You step through the doorway and enter into a sprawling cavern. The door slams shut behind you and disappears. The floor drops off in a sharp cliff up ahead, though you can't see yet what lies beyond. A dim reddish glow illuminates the cavern walls beyond the precipice. You also hear a roiling gurgle and bubbling sound echoing from the path ahead. As you creep closer to the edge, a thunderous howl reverberates through the cavern. You look down at the sickening mass writhing below. The cave floor on the ground below is almost entirely covered in a mixture of slime and thick, ropey strands of muscus. Muscus? I think it's meant to be mucus. A giant worm-like beast is perched on the far side of the cavern, belching blasts off a sweet-smelling red substance from a putrid... I licked that stuff! The vile liquid flows outward from its pulsating frame and pools to the opposite end of the cavern. You watch it slowly drain into a hole in the wall, travelling to deeper reaches of the underground realm. A muscle involuntarily constricts in your stomach, and you feel a sudden powerful thirst for the putrid red substance wash over you. At the same time, the revulsion of having tasted the foul waste liquid from this worm being causes you to retch violently. Another howl from the beast echoes through the cavern. It's partially blocking the path ahead. Climb down to investigate or look around I think we look around. Your eyes scan the nooks and crannies of the upper cavern. The beast howls again, shaking the cavern walls. It knocks loose a few fist-sized stones along the wall. You also notice a narrow ledge you didn't see before. It appears to creep around the side of the cavern, but you can't see where it leads. Picking up a stone, you consider your options. I think we're going to go for the narrow ledge. The ledge is barely wide enough to get a footing on, but you manage to creep out into the upper cavern as you grip the wall tightly. Inch by inch, you move your way across the gap. When you finally risk a glance at the ground far below, you realise that you're right above the worm beast, which is when the fragile ledge crumbles beneath your feet, sending you flailing downwards towards a grotesque creature and right into its gaping maw. You're thrust into dank, putrescent darkness as the slippery membrane of the beast's stomach intimately caresses your flesh. Sexy. As your air runs out and digestive juices begin burning your skin and eyes, you remember the rusted knife tucked away in your belt. The blade handle hits your grasp. Pulling it with all your strength, you plunge the jagged blade into the creature's stomach wall. Ichor spills over you and the world tremors with violent force. You frantically stab again at the darkness, and the blade cuts deeper, again, and again. Just as your strength begins to fail, you see a crack of light and push towards it, slicing with your last will to survive. Precious air! It comes in big gulps, birthed in a membrane of blood and slime. You emerge from the worm's innards very much alive. The giant worm, however, is lying still in a growing pool of its own fluids. Foul. You wipe off as much as you can and make haste to the stairwell beyond. As you descend, the rough-hewn cave passage gives way to stylized arches and chiseled corridors that draw you deeper into the well-lit chamber ahead. We are out of the cave! Torches illuminate the entire length of this decadently adorned hall. A series of gallery paintings are hung along the north wall while a towering statue stands watch over the far eastern wall. Paintings over statues. A small silver plaque below the painting reads, "The Silent Library." Yeah, probably because bloody... I don't want to touch that. Touch it. You reach out to touch the canvas, but death was on it. And the moment your finger makes a contact with the aged paint, the room spins into a blur. Knots coil in your stomach as your body is wrenched into the air. When the world stops spinning and you regain your senses, you find yourselves in a study brimming with books. A warm glow emanates from the crackling fire. You're tempted to recline in one of the fine leather chairs, positioned near stacks of books in this well-stocked study. A piece of singed parchment rests on a small table. I think we're going to check out the parchment. It reads, Chapter 2, Texts of Damnation. Cool. Books. Select the book. The Sting of Passion. That sounds like my kind of book. This book is titled The Sting of Passion. That's what we're learning today, kids. It describes the exploits of a lustful empress whose thirst runs deeper than mere carnal pleasures of the flesh. You become engrossed in a particular passage. I bet I bloody do. This may not be PG-13. Every third moon, Lady Ballantyne issued a call throughout the kingdom seeking suitors to satiate her particular desires. So powerful was her allure, her dark majesty, that dozens of able-bodied men and women would flock to the gates of her spire and bare themselves without shame or hesitation for her meticulous scrutiny, the most pleasing of whom were selected and granted entrance to her palace, where they were stripped, washed, and anointed in preparation. In small groups, the devotees would be led to the Empress'S private chambers, which would echo with screams of passion for hours on end. Without fail, they proved eager, attentive lovers, their bodies pressed against the Empress en masse in writhing ecstasy, entangled in the thrall of their fatal pleasures. For when each participant reached the height of passion, their beloved Empress would caress them lovingly as she produced a sharp blade and drove it deep inside of them, lapping up their crimson essence and running her fingers through their gaping wound as the life spilled forth from them. Despite the glimpse of their impending fate, the evening's proceedings continued until one after another each devotee eagerly succumbed to the Empress's unflinching need. And when the final breath rattled free from the last pair of lips, all that remained was the Empress, cloaked in their entrails and flushed with a gleaming power none could resist. What else was there? That's enough. Okay, door. All the warmth and splendour of the cosy study vanishes as you find yourself in a sprawling library choked with stacks of old tomes and a thick layer of dust. Time has been less kind to this ancient repository. The air in this dilapidated library vibrates with a foreboding energy. Silent words whisper forth from the pages, calling to you. Piles of old books are stacked across a large desk on the north wall. Dusty bookshelves, buckling under the weight of vast knowledge, rest against the west wall and the east wall. West side. An endless parade of tomes with grim, peculiar titles is found along the massive bookshelf on this wall. Inked, bound and catalogued, these antiquated books hail from a time long lost. Defense from psychic attack, Summoner's Grimoire. This book is titled The Summoner Initiates Grimoire. Yeah. Walking the path of the summoner initiate is a dangerous prospect to those not of the utmost soundness in mind, body, and spirit. That's me. The demonic entities slithering beyond the veil are eager tricksters, waiting for every opportunity to possess the living, those that walk in the darkness. The rest of the pages are torn and singed. Curious. Try that one. This book is... Yes, okay. A simple serenity of mind is a prime requisite for building a foundation of proper defense against psychic attack from man, demon, and beast alike. Practicing clearing all thought and stilling the consciousness is necessary to begin layering your protective mental state. With the skill achieved, the next step is to erect a mental barrier to strengthen one's psychic armor. Hone it into an impenetrable field that flows as an outer layer throughout your body. Take care to confine yourself to periods of rest and social confinement during the initial improvement of this process, else it's possible to weaken the psyche through extortion and become susceptible to attack. Okay, that's enough of that. Back. And East Wall. Books. Anything good? Nah. That's North Wall. The heavy desk is adorned with carvings of demonic entities and runic symbols. Piles of thick tomes are littered across its aging surface. Yep. It's a miracle that these texts have stood the test of time. Their brittle pages seem held together by some unknown force. This book is titled Praise to the Cosmic Serpent Divine, on today's episode of Sesame Street. The words are scratched on the page, penned in dark crimson ink. Oh, that sounds great. Entwined in your veins, dark father, I am a riddle unsolved, a crucible of burnt offering. Let my smoke rise to the heavens and seep into the deep valleys below. Breathe me in eternally. Let my blood be your blood, my tongue be your tongue, as I speak thy name and summon forth the locusts to strip away my flesh. For light is the darkness, and the aged ones wait, watching, to consume the world anew, feasting on themselves in anticipation of the glut to come. Emerge once again from your chrysalis, stretch muscle, bone, and talon. Sharpen your teeth on the fair city below, for your faithful await the third coming of your ceaseless presence. Desk. On the far side of the desk you find a large drawer. The lock's keyhole is situated inside the mouth of a fanged human skull carving. Is that helpful? A large drawer, the lock's keyhole. Okay. Are any of these books relevant to that, maybe? Tools of magic? In the pursuits of ancient magic, one cannot properly control the powerful forces at work beyond the veil without the correct instruments. Such is the need for appropriate tools to harness and conduct the elements during the rituals of magic. Bell! A summoner's tool, the bell is rung to break the silence between the physical plane and the immaterial realm, opening the door for entities to step through. I am thinking that maybe these will all become relevant at some point as a way to survive in this world. A thame. This ritual knife is used to direct energies to your bidding, though it is also doubles as a tool for bloodletting when the need arises. Candles. Everyone loves a nice candle. The candle is a beacon of light in a sea of darkness. It signifies hope, fire, intent, and the dualities of the universe. It can attract and repel a variety of otherworldly forces. Salt. Delicious on steak. A great purifier, salt has powerful cleansing and protective properties. Most often it's used in consecration and drawing magical circles for symbols. Rope. Used in kinky events. Used in binding rituals. Pretty much what I said. The rope is alternatively a useful tool for holding forces at bay or unlocking the doors to your deeper conscious. Okay, that's enough of that. Oh. So, at this point, did I already read this one? Yeah, I did. I'm going to read all of these. Clearly, one of the books has to be relevant, because the There's nothing else to do. The unseen world is home to many secrets, some caused by forces of wayward energy and some made by man. It's the combination of the two that can yield the most interesting results. Imbuing simple mechanical devices with arcane energy allows you to control their effect and manipulate them through invisible triggers, like a word, a sound, a command, or even interaction between remote mechanical objects linked by pure energy. Using magic to manipulate such artifacts is no simple task, no siree. Tremendous will and discipline are required to channel arcane forces into a physical... I don't know why I keep doing this in my head. To channel arcane forces into physical objects in such a way that it will attain its spiritual charge. The ritual can take days to perform correctly, but once completed it will produce a powerful artifact that can be shaped to the user's will, providing protection, concealment, or practical innovation. So I've read all the books. These ones. Can't do anything else with the desk. No. Let's read some books. Clever. It appears this book is entirely blank inside. You flip through the pages anyway. Halfway through the book, you find a secret compartment hollowed out in the pages. Inside the secret hideaway, you find a small key carved out of a human finger bone. Alright, I think I know where we're going next. North. Desk. Bone key. You place the bone key into the lock and turn it until you hear a click. The skull carving springs to life and bites down on the fragile bone key, snapping it off in the lock permanently. The desk's drawer is unlocked. Examine its contents. I think we will. Inside you find a small silver bell and a bag of salt. There's a strange marking inside one of the drawers. Carved into the wood of the desk drawer you find an ancient symbol that exudes an electric current that raises the hair on your arm as your hand draws near. As your fingers touch the ancient notches in the wood, a faint tingle races through your veins. You hear a strange click from the western wall of the library, and the feeling passes. One of the books has been pushed forward, out of place. Push it back in, I think I'll do that. You push the book back in and hear a rumbling sound coming from the study to the south. An endless parade of tomes with grim, peculiar titles can be found along. Is this the one I've already... Yeah. So I got the salt and the bell from the thing. A small panel is opened in the wall above the fireplace, revealing a button. You press the button and hear a low rumble from the ancient library to the north. I feel like I'm going back and forth a lot. Oh, wait. Has anything changed? The air in this dilapidated library vibrates with a foreboding energy. Silent words whisper forth from the pages calling to you. Okay. So one of these now... Oh! The bookcase has shifted aside to reveal a secret passage leading downwards. Yep, let's go. The smell of decay... I should have known that because it's east wall. The smell of decay wafts from below as you descend the staircase. A crisscrossing network of long scratch marks are clawed along the descending passage. You hear something creeping up the stairs towards you. You encounter a sight cluster. Attack! You damage the sight cluster. The sight cluster is injured and prepares to strike. The sight cluster damages you. Luckily, your injuries are superficial. The battle continues. Attack! You damage the sight cluster. You have slain the sight cluster. Victory! You survive the encounter. You absorb the blood of your fallen adversary and feel invigorated. A faint whisper echoes from down the stairs to the north. The trail of scratch marks continues around the corner and down the stairs to the south. Let's go south. The atmosphere grows heavier as you round the corner and continue down the stairwell. With each step further, the staircase feels a little colder, and the hair on the back of your neck perks up. It's immediately clear that this room has borne witness to many awful happenings. You can feel a dark, powerful residual energy lingering throughout this chamber. Deep gouges, dried bloodstains, and singe marks on the stone walls and floor weave an unspoken chronicle of ancient ritual, sacrifice, and otherworldly encounters. The side walls of this grim ritual chamber are lined with narrow cabinets. There's a large altar along the south wall. Cabinets first. Once well stocked, these old cabinets are now mostly littered with old dusty herbs and a vile assortment of bottled ingredients. It's kind of like a bargain hunt assessment. Your meticulous searching doesn't come up completely empty-handed, however. One drawer contains a stack of half-burnt candles, another holds a small pouch with a key. We are really gathering our kind of magic, summony special abilities here. Yeah, we're gathering the stuff for the altar. I thought that's what we might be doing. Let's follow the whisper. You hear whispers coming from the chamber down the stairs to the west. It sounds like it's saying, give. The moment your foot crosses the threshold, that's how you spell threshold, the whispers stop. At the far end of the room, you notice a glass display case. Looking through the protective glass and closing the top of the case, you see a book inside. It's bound in unusual blood-red leather and inscribed with the image of a demon on its cover. In the base of the display, there appears to be a compartment. I do use the tiny key. I'm well known for using a tiny key. You unlock the case. It's a demon! The compartment flips open to reveal a sharp ritual dagger resting next to a stone siphon that drains deeper into the base of the display. The siphon bowl is carved into the shape of a gaping demonic maw. Etched into the cold steel of the ritual theme are simply the words, give. With the sharp ritual knife resting in your hand, you feel its blade whispering for a taste of your flesh. The siphon bowl awaits an offering. Well, who am I to deny a siphon bowl, really? Slicing a gash in your hand with the knife, you let your blood flow freely into the demonic siphon's mouth. Within seconds, the stone carving's eyes glow bright crimson, and the glass case holding the book shudders, then melts away to nothingness. Demonic Invocation, the Book of Rituals, knowledge required to successfully summon the various aspects of the Divine Serpent. First form, the Call of Abrax. The Call forth Abrax. Perform the ritual sequence. First rite, set the candle. Okay, so there's going to be 5 things we can summon, I guess, and we have to do it in a certain order with the stuff we're going to have in the other room to actually do it. So let's see who these are. So this is Abrax. I am the light, the dark, and the never in between. Reaching out to you, dweller of the hollow void. Deliver your will upon me. You sound lovely. Second form, Orthalm. My body and mind are out of sync and ripe for your conduction. I beseech that your presence be known, great collector. He sounds nicer. Bathras, my suffering is great, drinker of pain. Join me now, great one, so you may taste of my agony. You don't sound fantastic. Zerazul, our fires burn as one, dark tempter of the underrealm. Show your form so that I may marvel in its divine splendour. I like that guy. Kilal, I am ready to solve your challenge and be absolved through your ancient knowledge. Impart upon me your ever-shifting wisdom. I think we're going to go for the 4th one. He seems cool. Okay, so Candles, Star, Twin, Sword. I need to write this down or something. I'm going to take a photo. Because I'm a professional YouTuber who is currently actually taking a selfie because I've completely forgotten how to turn my phone around. Camera. I'm not going to remember all this. Are you kidding? Sweet. Right, let's go. Oh. Oh. No. East, south, west, altar. Begin the ritual. Placement of the candles is the first step in the invocation ritual. How will you arrange them? In a star. The lit candles form the shape of a star, and the flesh at your palms aches with mysterious suffering. Drawing of the ancient symbol is the next step in the invocation ritual. Which symbol will you draw? I will draw a twin symbol. Which I assume is that one. Yes. Pour the salt in the symbol of the twin. Intonation of the summoning bell marks the next phase of the invocation ritual. How many times will you ring the bell? 9. The resonance of the bell stirs the darkness around you. The ritual now commands an offering of sacrifice be made to entice a response from the Dark Ones. Hair? You crop off a clump of your hair and burn it in the candle flame. You must now recite the final incantation to complete the ritual. Which passage shall you recite? Our fires burn as one. You summon Zerasul. Oh, she's fit. Hello. Didn't expect that. A flash of light momentarily blinds you, though soon you are greeted by the presence of Zerasul, who shifts forms, attempting to appeal to your innermost wants. She's not wrong. Redheads. Oh. No, was not what I was looking for. The entity doesn't speak, instead it walks nearer to you. With a look of desire, the entity reaches out to caress your face. Before you can resist, its lips meet yours. Where's this going to go? PG-13. I'm sorry, I really am. Its lips meet yours, awakening a heat within you. Its lips, its tongue, feels so good against yours. The entity embraces you more firmly. Stop being a man. The entity embraces you more firmly, running its hands over your body. Your inhibitions quickly begin to weaken under its expert touch. Every second of contact with your skin sends you reeling inside. I think we're going to submit, just because I think resisting a demon is probably a bad idea. Your thirst takes over and you return its kiss with a frenzied vigour. Within moments, your clothes are torn off and you move to the altar. This is not going to end well for me, is it? The entity is unrelenting. Its thorough investigation of the pleasures your body can withstand. Caught in the heat of passion, however, you fail to notice the barbed tentacles piercing your flesh and draining away your blood until it's too late. You're overcome with ecstasy right up until the moment your life fades completely. Death feels so good, but there's nothing left of you. I kind of suspected it might get me killed, but I thought this video's been going on for bloody ages, so it's probably time to end it. Okay. So, people are going to comment, this isn't a horror game, stuff like that. Again, and I will mention this in the next game we play, Euclidean, which starts on Monday. I'd like to push this point that horror games can encompass such a wide variety of stuff. Euclidean is very metaphysical. It's very much about your place in the world and the concept of the soul, and it's very Lovecraftian and like the old ones and the gods and all this kind of jazz. This is obviously more about your imagination and using stuff to drive those imageries. And we ended on quite a nice image, except the lack of blood. That's not a fun image for anyone. I just like to say, keep open-minded to stuff like this. This is quite good. It's really well written. And I apologise for inevitably butchering it. It's very well written, and it clearly can go in many, many, many paths. Now, if you go to restart, you can actually skip right to the gallery, hope. Okay, so this is where we went down and we looked at the painting. Now, you remember, I'm just going to do it as an example. Painting 3, touch the painting. Give me a minute. I know I'm skipping this, but I'm doing it for a reason. Did I just die? Okay. Oh, free ball. What? I was trying to make a point here, but it's going on for bloody ages. We found chapter 4. My point was going to be that there's the 3 paintings, all 3 lead to a different scenario, a different thing. There's the knight statue, which might lead to something else. Then when we got to the library, we could have solved 5 different demons. It started off quite linear. I think we dodged death a few times, but the point is it really starts to expand outwards. So I'm going to have another couple of goes and see what else can happen. It's nice that we can skip forward to that bit, because we have made it to there before. You know, there's no need to make us do everything again, though I do recommend doing it once and experiencing it. And this probably isn't the best way to experience this game. It's better if you sit there in the dark. You know, I've got to have lights on for the webcam and all this kind of jazz. I have to talk and read it out. I think if you sat there in an intimate environment and just read it slowly to yourself and got to really vividly picture everything, it could be really quite exciting and horror-y, you know? So that's about it. Can I make this full screen? Yeah, I should have done that. Thank you very much for joining me, ladies and gentlemen. I shall see you lovely folks in the next episode. Hope you're enjoying Horror Month so far. Cheers. Much love, as always.